Hello and welcome to Cover to Cover, and today we're talking about watches. Projecto Terra, as that one says. I've always been a massive fan of watches. Now, watches was, to me, it's appeared on Rolling Tree Entertainment's channel a long time ago. Start that again, fuck. Hello and welcome to Cover to Cover. This is my first, not really, it's my last, yes it is my last, attempt. This one is definitely going to be packed with some outtakes because I've got a bit of a jitterbug. Lights go on, cameras go on, and Stephen just goes away and Abraham takes over and he's like, hello there. Right, so what I'm going to be talking about today, tonight, or whenever you watch it, we're going to be talking about watches, or as that one says, Projecto Terra. It's an Italian poster, I believe. And what's very curious about that, Corey Haim's name's nowhere on the poster. It's a Dinar Kuntes book and a John Hess movie. Michael Ironside, Lala. No mention of Corey Haim, but Joel Goldsmith's on there as well. Roger Corman's on there as well. So there's some pretty big people behind this, and it is from the creators of Nightmare on Elm Street. And over the years, I've been a massive fan of watches when I eventually found it. Now, here on Lonely Tree Entertainment, there's loads of stuff to do with watches. Everything we're about to show you have a story. There's podcasts for it. Even last year, almost a year ago, me being back in New Zealand, wandering the streets of Nelson, New Zealand, reminiscing over watches. Yes, it's a worldwide phenomenon for me personally. So back in the day, when I was getting into the Corey Haim, Corey Feldman movies and trying to track them down on good old VHS, watches was just nowhere to be seen. People remembered it, and obviously people had read the book. I hadn't. Never seen it. Literally, nowhere to be seen. And for years I was like, ooh, where's it going to see it? Now, to cut a long story short, I didn't get to see watches until I was in New Zealand in 1996. My second time in New Zealand. My dad had moved down to Motueka at the time, and I used to get a bus from Motueka through to Nelson. Approximately 40 to 50 minute drive, so a good hour and a bit on a bus. So yeah, I used to go around the trips of the video shops, and New Zealand video shops are huge compared to England's. I mean, literally, this will be, I would say this is a little good example, right? That would be a New Zealand, UK Ritz blockbuster back in the day. You would walk in, you would have I would say you would have a window, two walls, and a counter, and then mass storage. That's it. If you were in New Zealand, you would probably get this. This is just a great demolition, but yeah, that's how big New Zealand video shops were to the UK. Mass appeal, mass quantity, loads of films, never seen the light of day since, ever. We're out then. So when I was saying that Motueka had a couple of video shops, but Nelson had a huge one called Video Village. And I remember walking in there, and that was the first time I ever seen watches sitting on the bottom shelf. So I'm going to do these in a bit of order. So this is what we're talking about right now, that one right there. So there you go, I just seen it there. I was like, and that is definitely the YouTube still, because you can see Corey Haim's face behind us. It's a double barrel. Right, so I seen it, and I was like, oh, and I rented it. First time I seen it. Wasn't what I expected, but again, it was just this lost movie of Corey Haim. Also got to see the likes of Dream a Little Dream and Dream Machine, films that you just couldn't find over here, all from the same era of Corey Haim's mega fame. Now, this is an M, and this is cover to cover, so basically, down the side, Corey Haim's face, Corey Haim watches. Also says it started as a secret experiment, it ended in a new breed of terror from the creators of Nightmare on Elm Street. Hashtag thriller. It's definitely horror. So yeah, on the back of the box, guy's dead. Angry guy, Corey Haim, pretty much getting dry humped by a dog on the back. So yeah, it's a big box. Seen better days, and if anyone knows it, I spent days chopping wood at my dad's house back in the day to actually buy that from Video Village. And then my mum chucked out my collection of films. I didn't know this when I went back to New Zealand, and me and my little brother had found Video Village, and I seen watches on the bottom shelf there. It's still there, it's back. So I got that last year after being back in New Zealand. That was one of my quests to find. Didn't find it on the shelves, but I did find License to Drive. This is a cheap plug. Check out my show, Welcome to the Land of the Long White Cloud, also known as I Theodora. 17-part episode show of me travelling from right here all the way around in New Zealand, seeing my family, and pretty much VHS hunting. So yeah, that's the origin story for and he said fucking frighteners there. That came out of the pictures when I was there. But that was the origins. Watched that movie, brought it home, liked it. Corey Haim, in his unofficial autobiography. It took some time out to recoup in Canada. And this movie was made on the pretty much of the cheap. And again, it's like a parody of this creature that follows the golden retriever everywhere it goes, Furface or Einstein or whatever you want to call him, and gets followed by this beast here. Now, I always find it funny, him waving, and it's even more funnier now that now exists, because that never really got a video. I had that, got it, and I've only just recently framed it, and it's found itself down in the dark corner of room 4. Call it room 4 because that's the 4th room. This house should technically end here, but for some reason it doesn't. It keeps on going. Right, anyway, off that rant. So, I seen the movie and I came back to England and I just never seen it. Never seen it, and then I found this. That survived, actually. That is the UK cover, and that's sell-through. And like, what the fuck, man? Like, literally, right? Corey Haim, Michael Ironside, released on Forefront Video. Universal's name's on that. Again, you need to watch the distribution going on here, because Universal's got the name on that. On the back, it's got a big synopsis of the movie. It almost looks like a bloody pentagon slice thing through the top there. Michael Ironside shooting again, which is the same picture. And then someone with a head ripped off. It started as a secret experiment. It ended up in A New Breed of Terror, from the scientific bestseller novel from D.R. Kuntez. I'm just trying to wing this now because I gooned it so many times getting ready. Get ready for the outtakes. I can't get the fucking thing right. But yeah, W watches. They're in yellow. But the beast on the front, the abomination is on the front, and it's like, It's one thing putting Jaws on the front cover and go, Or the Graboid and go, You know what I mean? It's like, hint that there's a problem. Who's your star of this movie? Corey Haim. Michael Ironside's done alright for himself. Surprised he didn't put fucking Lala on here. Lala's on there. God, you can't plan when I do shit like this, right? Look on the back of the box. Watches. Barbara Williamson, also starring Michael Ironside, Corey Haim and Lala. That is the official credit line on the back of the box. I've never realised that. Fuck my life, man. I mean, he's got his name at the top. But yeah, that's a small box sell-through. As I say, black box, creature on the front cover. Again, it was available. I just couldn't find it as a kid. Especially it's an 18 as well. That's fucking weird, that. Watches. Barbara Williamson, also starring Michael Ironside, Corey Haim and Lala. Music by Jerry Goldsmith. Joel Goldsmith. But yeah, directed by John Hess. So yeah, that's really weird and really interesting. But you can see the logical difference between that is the New Zealand and that is, you know what I mean? You can see a massive difference in that. It's like, well, I mean, I totally prefer that. And that was the chase. That was a holy grail for me. Finding that was a holy grail. But it's not my favourite from cover now. If you're new to the channel, you don't know what I'm going to show you. If you're not new to the channel, you know what I'm going to show you. That's where I was going for that. But let's look at the UK counterpart. It's back. Big box VHS version of watches. You can get a bit of pretty price on eBay, that bugger. Even though I should have really replaced it. It's not like I don't have 2,000 VHSs in there to swap one box. I might actually do. But again, it's got the Guild Home Video as a VHS collector. It's got a dent in it because it's X-Rental. They're never going to be pitch perfect unless you name Stormtrooper, Corey Feldman movie that came and it's never been opened and it's an X-Rental. I mean, that poor VHS, it's in a nice safe home. But yeah, if you look at that, Corey Haim, above, no one else. Guild and Video, you see quite a lot of them. It's gone for a white. Corey Haim is literally chopped into a little box there. And then the creature's on the front, just like, not waving, but just seeing what's going on. It started as a secret experiment and ended a new breed of terror from the novel of D.R. Kuntez. And again, Corey Haim screaming on the back. And the beast, the abomination. So, oh, I've seen better days. I don't think I've ever watched that. That tape, probably not even the right tape, it looks glued on. It's all about the artwork though for me. I'm not going to watch it that and that out of anything. So anyways, that was the release in the UK and that was the New Zealand cover. Now, when you look at all the Corey Haim's movies and stuff like that, watches outside of maybe Lucas is getting hard to get a hold of because of some strange events from last year. But when you take away Lost Boys, Corey Haim's collector and Crank 2, if you're going to really go, what can you walk into a shop now and go, what Corey Haim movies you got? You've got Lost Boys, questionably Lost Boys 2, questionably Lost Boys 3, Crank 2, In Fuck My Life, that's it. Like literally, poof, now else. But Watches is one of them ones where you might, depending on the range. Watches is still available. Here it is. Bang. It's a UK release. I love it how they've brought the red box out. So somebody has paid attention to bringing this out. And that was really cool for me because when the two Corey's movies started coming out on DVD, yes, like Lost Boys and everything was just chucked out, you had a few rare ones come through the radar. Fortune Hunters. Fortune Hunters. Blown Away came out in a very rare misprint because it's 218 on. That's a good cover to cover around going there. And then you got stuff like Edge of Honor came out and stuff like that. So you had a very few, but this one was taken a bit serious. You know, red box, no Hollywood DVD across the top. A film by John Haas. Started a secret experiment, new breed of terror, and they changed the cover. So they, for me personally, knowing that cover from New Zealand, there you go. That came out and I said, fuck me, I've got to have that. And I've had that since 2016. Got it straight away. Nice disc as well. What's very interesting and very promising about this one is that it's by Studio Canal. So Universal's gone from it. Studio Canal have spent a lot of money recently on really pushing the barrel limited edition stuff. John Carpenter's movies, Total Recall movies. So Studio Canal could bring that out on Blu-ray. So that'll be really cool when they do. Right, so before I talk about the last two gems, let's talk about the film itself. Corey Haim plays Travis. You know, a dog jumps in the back of his truck as Travis. Again, unlawfully drives, steals his mum's car. And then his girlfriend's dad is brutally murdered in the barn. At the very start of this movie, a dog fucks off and the music starts and this beast runs after them. So anyway, this dog seems to be very clever. And Corey Haim takes a light in this dog, and everywhere this dog seems to go, death seems to follow. And takes place over a course of like 2 days. Meanwhile, Michael Ironside's running around, getting very angry. But again, he's getting very angry. Michael Ironside, for that same time, played baddies in Highlander 2 and Total Recall. So he's just the bad guy to go to. And it's 80s. It's got like a lot of cheese. Again, Stranger Things borrows a lot from this. So if you haven't seen Watches, check it out. It's definitely pure cheese. So yeah, that was the film I'd known. Without giving it away. The creature turns up. Rah! Bang! In the book, when I read the book, it was amazing. Now, Travis is a lot older in the book. Travis is also suicidal. Travis went in the woods to fucking blow his head off. And he's just like, fuck that. Meanwhile, Nora, who in the film, Nora is his mom. In the book, it's just some random girl who doesn't like coming out the house. It's like COVID-19's early. Oh yeah, I'm not coming out the house. She's like, won't come out. And she's getting sex pest off this guy. And the dog sort of brings them apart. He finds a dog in the woods. And it takes place over months. In months. They get together, they travel. There's no Michael Ironside. I'm the third experiment. Don't. What? But the book's amazing. The dog's hilarious. Because you write it in a book, the dog's obsessed with Mickey the Mouse. It's got some really funny bits. But again, it follows briefly of the guidelines. And then the second film for Watches, which is available in New Zealand. Available. The second film really follows on the Travis character, but it's not the Travis character, and they try to take elements of the book. They do with Jurassic Park, try and wedge them together. Now, there's at least 5 Watches films, and I've only ever seen the 2. Even Mark Hamill appears in the later ones, but as I say, I've been down this road before. There's some real shitty artwork. Again, check out the channel, because I talk about one, and I'll leave it. I'm not going to overlay it or anything to talk about it, but there's a weird fucking creepy creature on one of the covers. I'm like, what the fuck's that? So anyway, off that rant. Yeah, the book's totally mint, and the book would look great as a remake. The film would get remade. If it went for the book, even if they did it as a series and spread it out, pretty good. But yeah, it's a bit of a letdown, the creature, but the music's pretty good. Now, we're going to save the best for last, because Watches, as I say, hopefully will come out on Blu-ray. But when you take in the fact that it got, crouch down here, hello, a Japanese Laserdisc, is it going to have that cover? Which, you know, will look quite good with Corey Haim's face on. Or is it going to go for the UK? Or is it going to be completely fucking different? So there we go. Michael Ironside gets his name. Well, Corey Haim, Michael Ironside gets his name there. Shining Blue, Star Wars Blue. just a burning fire. You can see one hand in there, so someone's meant to be like, rah, like that's it. Fucking loads of stuff going on in the back. Loads on there. You've got sort of, don't move, I'm going to shoot you. Them shooting, everyone's shooting somebody. But you know what's really interesting and what makes that, I mean, don't get us wrong, it shows you Michael Ironside's death on the back, but you know what's interesting about that? At not one point do you see the creature at all. Even like the retro, like the colour invert, you can do with old school photoshops and stuff. But yeah, just to open this up, I think this is double barreled. Comes out with a little cool. I think I found this on the way back from New Zealand. That's it, not a gatefold or anything, but yeah, so that was really cool. Happy to have that in the collection. Right, last but not least, because all the outtakes are me trying to fuck this, and we're not trying to fuck it up, just absolutely fucked it up. One of the cool things about the two Corys that has really sparked my interest, I would say, the last 2 years, is the two Corys' popularity in Europe, like I would say. But not like again, France, there's a couple of things popping in France, yes, bendy discs like Fast Getaway and Born Bad and shit. But like around the Belgium area and stuff like that in Germany. Because you do see a lot of Corey Haim, Corey Feldman moves in Germany. This is the best cover of watches. And if you want to talk about something that's meant to look retro as fuck, this looks retro as fuck. And if Studio Canal was smart, I mean, if they could get a hold of watches too and slap that on as an extra, the artwork would be really good. I mean, as soon as I would pay full price for watches, without a shadow of doubt. But that is the best cover of watches. The artwork on that is fucking stunning. And even now, it's stunning. Corey Haim, dog next to it, dog's looking evil as fuck. I mean, dog's quite funny, but the dog's like, fucking, I'm going to kill you. Got the sheriff in the background, there's no Michael Ironside. Corey Haim, Michael Ironside, but just the creature coming back. But the creature looks like the size of fucking King Kong coming through the wall. But it's the shadows that look on the back. Proper just looks like a love comedy. It literally look, that could almost be. I mean, the woman's screaming in the background and stuff like that, but it's very funky and childlike. German one, so it's all stuck down. Now, so that's bitching. Now what I need to do is going in the outtakes. Now I need to go against the wall, suck the gut in. So I need to wipe down the screen. So if you wipe down the side of the screen, bang, watches red. These are some of the ones I tracked down. This is meant to be the outtakes. So you've got like eyes behind them that kind of look like what do you call a Castro from Kiss the Girls. So yeah, Corey Haim holding the dog. The dog don't know what the fuck's going on. But yeah, Corey Haim's name is across the top. So get rid of that. Next up, we've got wipe down the side of the screen. Watches, the fucking beast waving, which is iconic to that. But it's got its fucking full on fucking, it's almost like silver bullet fucking wolf going on there. At the bottom, Michael Ironside looking happy, but even he's got a burning stick. A couple of pictures of Corey Haim with someone dead in a hand of death. And last but not least, off my phone, bang, Norbert. Just a hand over the house. But that actually does have the book on it called Norbert, so it's called Norbert originally. So yeah, metal. Wah wah wah. Right. So yeah, it's been cover to cover. It's really cool to do cover to covers because I haven't done them for a couple of years, and again, I like going in there and looking at the collection and go, ooh. But again, what's really interesting is different. I always found it different names, different covers, especially as a kid. And you know, my mum lives in New Zealand. My dad lives in New Zealand. My mum lives in England. And I was just chucked between the two for a while in my life, and like being massive into films and walking into a foreign video shop. It's just like, it's changed my life. You know, it's just amazing. Like you look around and films have different names, but then have different covers. And as a film collector and all that kind of jazz, it's all about the cover. It's all about the artwork. It's all about physical media. I'm in Steve Monkey Mason. I'll see you in the outtakes for absolutely balls in the fuck out of this. Goodbye for now. Hello and welcome to the outtakes. There's going to be quite a few outtakes of me trying to get the start of this right, so hopefully I will get it right by the end of the day. Tonight, whenever, get this outtakes going. Hello and welcome to Cover to Cover. I'm going to be talking about watches right now. Now, Watches is a Corey Haim movie from the late 80s. Some know it, some don't know it. Some know the book, some don't know the book. It's something definitely on the cards for a remake. Right, so that is my best guess at an Italian poster. Progetto Terra. One thing what's really odd about that, Corey Haim's name's not mentioned anywhere on that movie. That's his big ass face there. Michael Ironside, La La. We'll get to that in a minute. It's just not. It's not there in any shape. Right, so it's from 1988. Now, if you've been following the channel for a while, if not, I've been a massive fan of watches for a very long time, and there's quite a cool story about watches, but we'll get there. Now, I do need to keep crouching down very slowly. Hiya, still there. And first up, we're going to be talking about the book. Dun dun dun. Right, so watches right across the top. Crazy ass, like retro, splatting, airstroke green. Just a fucking cabin in the woods, basically. Seen better days. And before we get to talking about that, I should have made myself a little desk. Can't at the moment. It's just stairs there. Anyway, so we're talking cover to cover. When I got interested in the Corey Haim, Corey Feldman movies as a kid, for some reason watches just wasn't available anywhere. Even though people had talked about it, I'd heard of it. So it carried a bit of cult thing about it because it was from The Crazy Nightmare on Elm Street. And Dean Koontz as he is now, seemed to have a big following. I say seemed to, I didn't live that hype with Dean Koontz, but he was very popular, especially last year when his book pretty much predicted the pandemic of 2020. Anyway, he's went on to write a lot of stuff, and obviously a lot of time comes off as Stephen King. I do that every time. I haven't done that for a while, but yeah, anyway. Hiya, Jack. Anyway, so yeah, watches. Fuck. Bollocks. Here's an outtake for you. Dear Santa, fill us up with goodies for next year. Hello, and welcome back to Cover to Cover. Welcome to Lonely Tree Entertainment. My name's Steve Monkey Mason. And tonight, right now for me anyway, we're going to be talking about the film Watches. Dun dun dun. Progetto Terra. Hiya. As he waves at you. Right, okay, so Lonely Tree Entertainment. I'm going to get this right in a minute. Well, hello there. Welcome back to Cover to Cover, or welcome to Cover to Cover. We'll get this right one time. My name's Steve Monkey Mason here at Lonely Tree Entertainment. Now, today, or whenever you're watching this, back in the past, back now, we're going to be talking about the movie Watches, or as that says, Progetto Terra. I think it's Italian. It's going to go for Italian. What's really funny about that, at not one point on that poster does it say Corey Haim, Michael Ironside. It's even got La La on there, but we'll talk about that. Right, Watches appeared along Lonely Tree Entertainment for a long time. What I meant to say was, it's been appearing on Lonely Tree Entertainment for a long time. So much history with this movie. Right, so, got a collection here of fuck me, man. Why is it so hard? Hello, and welcome to Cover to Cover. Now, I'm going to be talking about Watches. Corey Haim movie from the late 80s. Right, as I creep around the corner. This is the, I'm guessing, Italian poster for Progetto Terra. Something very odd about that. Corey Haim's name does not appear at any point on that. Michael Ironside, La La. That's it. Joel Goldsmith music as well. Anyway, we're going to be talking about Watches. Now, been a big fan of Watches for a long time. In fact, Watches has appeared over the last couple of decades. Fuck of my life. I'm never going to get this right. Hello, and welcome to Cover to Cover. Today, whenever you're watching this, we're going to be talking about watches. Well, I'm going to be talking about watches. It's long lost. It's not long lost at all. You can still buy it. And that is it. That's the outtake. So yeah, I got it right in the end. Here we are on the end. I'm just going to put this back together. And then the lovely job of putting everything away. I probably revisit Watches. I've seen Watches since I last did the podcast, because I think I seen Watches in Lockdown 1. Probably after I got some other copy of it. It's probably just not long after I got that New Zealand version. Oh, I didn't realise that. It's got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the back. What a shocker. Le Bits. Fucking wasn't Total Recall. Double barrel, Michael Ironside. But yeah, I've seen it about there. Put it on. Just goes on Jaws vision and stuff. Again, it would make a bitchin' mini-series, like. And it's a brilliant book. I highly recommend the book. If you're a Corey Haim fan, I highly recommend the film if you haven't seen it. And anyone who's a fan as well, I think Mr. Smith, follow on YouTube, hello matey, I'm sure he went and tracked one of them down because you need that in your collection. If you're a Corey Haim fan, golden, absolutely golden that one. Thanks for watching, goodbye for now.